And so you will need to market yourself. Um, the children are not necessarily, they don't necessarily have to be in here at this time. We would love for them to be in children's church. But if not, if they're here, fine. They may get, they may hear something that will benefit them. All right. So if you're already working, you'll find the information beneficial because you may want to get a bigger job. If you are in school and you have never worked, then this will help to prepare you to be a preferred selection, a preferred candidate for that particular job. So, so coming to us is someone who is very competent and qualified to speak to us. Her name is Gillian Martin. We'll refer to her today as Sister Martin. I want to give you a little bit on her. Miss Gillian Martin is a trainer, speaker, and writer. She provides almost 300 training programs to churches. She has created 24 tracks and writes manuals for Sunday school. She is very gifted and very competent. There's much more I could say, but I'll leave the rest for later, for her to say, or for another time. Without any further ado, Miss Gillian Martin, at this time, make her welcome in Jesus' name. Put those hands together.
A pleasant good morning, everybody. Thank you, Pastor Smith, for your invitation. And how is everybody today? All right. So before we get into the meat of the matter, I'm just going to make use of some of the people that are with us today. So I see, for example, youth, young people. So my question is for persons who are not yet working. Maybe you are in school. Is there a particular career that you would like to have? Anybody here, any career? Anybody wants to be a teacher, a mechanic, an electrician? Does anybody want to tell us what you want to be when you're older? Anybody? Okay.
Electrician.
Okay, wonderful. So we have a future electrician. Let's give him a clap. Right over here. Anybody else? Anything that you'd like to be when you are older? Yes. A fashion designer? A fashion designer. Let's give our future fashion designer a clap. All right. And as we go along, if there is anybody who has any other career that you like, you can let us know. All right. So we'll be looking at doing a little activity now. We're going to be working in groups, especially for the older persons, but we can also invite our young persons to work in groups. So you can work in groups of 4. All right, so we can have 4 groups. And the first thing that you're going to do in your group is that you're going to find a name for your group. Now remember that we're thinking about a career, a future, what we want to become in the future. So you can think about a name for your group. All right? So let's try to work out our groups. All right? So like we could have here, these first 1, 2, 3. lines, this could be one group. And then from here going backward, that's one group. And then we could have a group from here, this line, yes, going all the way back, you're one group. And then from here, future electrician coming up here, you are one group. And then we have our electricians over here. So you could probably join over here since the group is small. All right, so everybody in a group? So your first job is to find a name for your group. If you want to, not just find a name for your group, but if you want to name it like a company name, but it can be something that's inspiring and nice, something to motivate you for the future. So that's your first job in this career, finding a name for your group, your team, or even your company. All right, so I'm giving you 2 minutes to come up with a name, and then you're going to share the name with the rest of us. All right, groups. So do you have a name? This group at the front right, do you have a name for your group? Not as yet? Okay, so we have our groups now. To the back right, we have Faith International. Can we give Faith International a clap? Great. And then in front of Faith International, we have, your name is Visionary Missionaries, you said? Vivacious Visionaries. Sounds good? Yes, very good. All right. Our new group right up here, front right. What's the name of your group? O Electrics. Wonderful. Give O Electrics a clap. All right, and our next group is Shining. Shining. You hear the rest of it? All right, our Shining group. Give them a clap, please. Okay, so today we'll be looking at several topics. Deciding on a career path. So how do you know what career you're to have? What do you want? What you're to do for work in the future? How to hunt for a job? What are employers looking for? Making yourself marketable. So we heard about market me. Marketing yourself. Preparing a winning resume and cover letter, preparing for the interview, overcoming nervousness before and during the interview, interview do's and don'ts, typical interview questions, selling yourself during the interview, succeeding in challenging interviews, and then we'll close with trust the process. Keep on walking with God. Are people making notes? Yes, whether you're gonna write or put it on your phone. So the first thing we're going to be looking at is deciding on a career path. How can you know what you should do for work in the future? So we'll be using what Rick Warren calls SHAPE. The S stands for spiritual gifts. The H stands for heart. The A stands for abilities. The P stands for personality. And the E stands for experiences. I'll go again. The S stands for spiritual gifts. The H stands for the heart. Very good. A stands for abilities. P stands for personality. And the E stands for experiences. So maybe you remember one, whether the S, the H, the A, the P, or the E. So when I say S, you're going to say what S means. If you don't remember, that's fine. But one person must remember one thing. All right. So the shape, the first, the S stands for? Wow. Give these people a clap. Woo! The H stands for? Heart. Great. The A stands for? Woo, you're bright. The P stands for? Woo! And the E stands for? Wow. Give yourselves a big clap. Now, what are some ways that you can hunt for a job? How can you look for a job? You can look for a job by going in the newspaper. There will be things advertised. You can use word of mouth. So John knows Peter. So John asked Peter if he knows about a job, right? Word of mouth. Use up your friends. Then you can also use networking. Maybe you're working somewhere or you're involved in church or clubs and you know people involved in those things as well. So you can use up people that you know. Then you can also go into the company itself and ask for a job. So one of the first jobs I had was working at a bank by the name of CIBC. How did I get the job? I took up the phone and I called and then I went in and asked for a job. All right, so we can go into the places, we can use telephone calls, we can drop off applications in person. So rather than just sending in the application, you can walk into the company and drop off your application. Sometimes there are things known as job fairs where different companies market the jobs that are offered, so you can do that there as well. And then you can also use social media, and social media involves what? What? Right? Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and all of those. All right, so what are some things that companies are looking for? What are some things that companies want persons to be? They want persons to be loyal. So if you say that you are going to be working with the company, they want you to be working there and staying there and doing what you're to do. They want you to be reliable. They want you to be a word that begins with an H. Can anybody think of what that H word is? Honest is very good. Honest, there's another H word. Helpful is very good. Yes. Any other H words? They also want you to be hard working. All right. They want you to be go-getters, going after what you want, to have a good track record. They're looking at other things like if you are efficient, if you do your job well, if you learn to take initiative, that is, you take the lead, you don't wait for somebody to tell you to do something, you can do it. They're looking at how enthusiastic you are about your job. If somebody asks you to do something and you said, really? Why she never ask somebody else? What about Marianne? See Marianne over there not doing anything. Why she never ask her? No, you're enthusiastic. So you say, sure. What else do you say? I'm happy to help. Stuff like that. All right. They're looking for persons who are innovative. Means they can create things. They don't just leave things as they are. They're looking for people who are problem solvers. So these people don't just, where is our electrician? We have, yes, electrician. So the electrician now they will want problem solvers. So people who don't just say, boy, this machine isn't working good. But the electrician who is going to try to solve the problem. Find a way to make the machine work well. All right. Then they want people who are able to work under pressure, because sometimes there is pressure. Sometimes you're working with a machine and it's not working, so you have to be able to work under pressure. They want people with good people skills, so people who can say, people who are courteous, people who, if it is morning, you will say good, and if it's evening, you say, and if somebody say thank you, you say very good. All right. And then they want people who are able to manage their emotions. What do they mean by that? It means that if somebody is upset about something, they don't just scream and shout and get angry, but they are actually able to remain calm. They want people with good attendance and people who can show up for work early enough. All right, so we have a little activity now. Again, you can work in your groups to try to figure this out. But you're going to tell us about a time when, whether at school, at work, at home, or elsewhere, on a summer job, elsewhere, or so on, you were able to show yourself to be any of the things that we just spoke about. So was there a time at school or at work that you showed yourself to be any of the things? What are some of the things we said that employers are looking for? Right. So was there ever a time when you showed yourself to be hardworking? Was there ever a time when you showed yourself to be courteous? Was there ever a time when you showed yourself to be enthusiastic or helpful? So those are the things that we're going to be looking at. So you just need to work in your groups and just give us an idea of any time that you have shown yourself to be like that. All right, any questions? Everybody okay with that? All right. On it, anybody has anything to tell us? This group right here, or electricals, do you have anything to tell us? Huh? You don't have anything? Huh? All right, what do you want to share with us?
So good day again. A quick example. I work in the hospitality field, and before I say anything else, if you don't have patience, the ability to work under pressure, don't suggest to feel hospitality to anybody, honestly. An example, uh, there was this event of 200 people. Um, yeah, so there was this event of 200 people. Everything was prepped the day before. We came in, and one of the fridge went down. Soup was out, appetizers were out, guests was coming in. So, um, you know, in that moment, we had to exercise, firstly, patience, ability to work under pressure, and so etc. So there was a supermarket close by. We couldn't get the orders that they needed, so I had to make a new menu, etc., etc., and pivot basically from an entire part, and that was all.
Thank you so much. Brilliant. I hope we heard and were inspired. All right, any other group? Anybody else? Visionary, vivacious visionaries. Do you have any examples? All right, that's okay. All right, you have any shining examples right here? What? All right, all right. All right, thank you. So, very good job. Let's give, yes?
All right. All right. So, based on the adjectives that you would have listed, um, being a leadership position, you have to have those attributes then in order to lead a team, right? So, hardworking is something that I start from a line team member, and I'm certain that it would be something that my manager would have seen why I would be promoted, right? So the hard working, the enthusiasm, the able to go and take on pressure because it's not an easy thing. And the only thing I don't like about it is that whenever they see those attributes in your time, they take disadvantages of it. True or false? True, yes. They can know that they can call upon you at any time. So like the whole world is just on you, but it's a good experience, yes. So anything else?
Thank you so very much for sharing. Let's give her a clap, please. That clap sounds anemic. It needs some energy. Woo! Very good. All right, so how can you make yourself marketable? By updating your qualifications. So even if you believe that you have CAPE, you can still go higher, first degree, or go higher if you're in a technical area, get more certifications in the area. Making yourself marketable means also knowing what is happening in your field, attending seminars. So, seminars that can help you to improve in the area in which you work. You may volunteer, you may do research, interview people in the field. So, you need to work in a particular field. You've never worked in the field before. You need to ask somebody ask persons working in the field questions. What are some things that you would want to know if you are working if you want to work in a particular field and there is somebody who already is working in that field? What are some things that you would want to ask them? Very good. How long does it take to get to the particular field? Anything else you would want to ask? Yes?
You would want to ask them how long have they been in the field, right? And you'd also want to ask them what differences like from before or now, because there are certain fields that things change. So even though they have the experience, they'd also have to share like what are the differences, like the different stages. Is it the same as it would have been like 20 years ago? Like fields like marketing, for example. Yeah. So
Crucial questions, because life doesn't stay at one place, things keep changing. So you want to know how things are changing over the years. All right, so very good question. So that just gives us an idea of some of the things that we can ask if we have an interest in a field. And you may also join career related fields, career related clubs. So if there are clubs that can help you to develop in the area of that career, you can also join. Make yourself marketable. So you want to be a future electrician or working marketing. Yes, you have to promote yourself, so you can promote yourself on social media. All right. And you'll, of course, have to do research, ask questions, interview persons, etc. So, right now, we're looking for a word. Yes, thank you. We're looking for a word, very important word, that starts with an R, it ends with an H, and it has 8 letters. It starts with an. Very good. Did you hear what she said? She said research. Yes, right. So you have to do the research. Please clap her. Okay, so we are looking at marketing ourselves, identifying which career we're to have, and we move up now to this topic, preparing a winning resume and cover letter. So you need to have a resume and you need to have, well, some companies require a cover letter, some don't. But you want your resume to be a winning resume so that when your resume goes in, they will give you the job. So to have your winning resume, you need to have a professional letterhead. So I'm going to be distributing some copies of some sample resumes. Thank you so much. Yes. All right, thanks. All right, so Pastor Smith is distributing copies of resumes so that as we go through our resume, you can have a look at it. All right, so as you look at your resumes, you will see that it has a heading. And the first thing that you see at the top of the resume, what are you seeing? You're seeing the name, the person's name, and you'll notice that it is very big and bright. You won't overlook it. Then below it now you have the address, phone number, and email. And then below that you have something known as a summary. So this is going to be the first thing that the interviewers are going to see. It's just a brief statement that just shortens as much important information about you as you can in that short space of time. All right, what is the next heading you're seeing after summary? You're seeing what? Oh, no. Below. Skills and accomplishments. Right. So you're going to be writing now what skills you have, right? What are the things that you have accomplished also that can jump out? All right. And then I'll just give you a little time to look down now at the other subtopics. But there are the most important things. You're going to have the subtopics. You notice that you have the different areas like the summary, the skills and accomplishments. So those are written out in a bigger font and then you would explain below. So just take a little time and look at the resume, please. right, so you would have looked on it. All right, are you seeing a section qualifications? All right. So experience. Can anybody tell me what you think would go under experience? What information would you put under experience? So that is going to talk about your experience that you have in the area. Maybe you've worked in the area before. Maybe you've even done summer job in the area. Then you're going to have a section known as education. What would you put in the section known as education? Yeah. All right. Yes. All right. So that you can use that as just your model for your resume. Some companies also ask you for a cover letter in which you would highlight some important things. So you would again set it up with the same cover head like you would have on your resume. So let's look at what is written in a cover letter. Some examples. So it would have dear, and then I am writing this letter to express my interest in the position of. So you would put the job that you are looking for. My experience in volunteering as a would make me an asset to your team. So we are imagining here that this person didn't have any work experience, but they volunteered. So they're using that as their work experience. Additionally, my qualifications and work experience include, if they have work experience. And then it could close with, please allow me to attend an interview so that I can discuss how I can be of value to your team. Yours truly, and you put your name. All right. So, where the first thing on your resume is the summary, which is at the top. So here is your activity for your team now. Nathan is hardworking, enthusiastic. Please make sure you listen because this is activity time. Nathan is hardworking, enthusiastic, and innovative. He wants to work in IT. He worked in IT last summer. Create a summary for Nathan's resume. All right, so over here we have the electricians or electrician. So instead of him working in IT, you can say he wants to be an electrical engineer or whatever. Or if since you work in hospitality, if you want to make it about, but what you would do is just the first part, the summary for this person's profile. Everybody understand? Shining group over here, do you understand? Wonderful. Okay, question, yes? Okay, Nathan is hardworking, enthusiastic, and innovative. He wants to work in IT. He worked in IT last summer. Create a summary for Nathan's resume. Now, since you like marketing, if you want to change it from IT to marketing, you can do that as well. All right? Let me repeat one last time. Nathan is hardworking, enthusiastic, and innovative. He wants to work in IT. He worked in IT last summer. Create a summary for Nathan's resume. starting with O Electrics.
Alright, so for the short summary, start off by saying, introducing himself. I'm Nathan Addison, an aspiring electrician that is enthusiastic about the technicalities and ingenuity of the craft. I have no professional experience on an election, but I've competed and won various competitions while attending school by applying my creative and innovative mindset, and I look forward to further enhance my knowledge and ability while contributing greatly to your team.
Oh, it's brilliant. All right. Very good job. I think it's more of a cover letter based on the length, but the content is very good. Let's give our electrics hospitality. Yes. All right. You want me to read it for you? Okay, so for this group, Nathan summary worked in IT last summer, so it says hardworking, innovative, and enthusiastic. Nathan graduated top of his class from Technical High School, after which he did an apprenticeship at Google, specializing in cybersecurity and networking. Sounds brilliant. Can we clap them? All right. Smiles over here. Who is going to take the microphone? You want me to read it for you? Do you want me to read it? What? All right. Are you ready for us?
All right, so we have Nathan Brown, marketing student at the University of the West Indies, with experience in digital marketing, where he held a summer experience at the Shining Light Resort in July 2026 as a marketing intern. It helped to develop, his hardworking, enthusiastic, and innovative skills, and he looks forward to expanding his experience in a new marketing job that will help to. Yeah.
Very, very good. Very, very good. All right. Over here, are you ready for us? All right. You can give it to teacher after the training session, okay? All right. Clap yourselves, everybody. All right, so we're going to move on now to our next topic. We're looking now at preparing for the interview. Remember, he who fails to plan plans to fail. Let's say that together. He who fails to plan plans to fail. All right, so we have to prepare for our interview, get information about the position so that we can answer questions for the interview. You can get information from the company website, persons who are already in the position, company journals, looking at the job description advertised for the post. You can identify the skills and knowledge needed for the job and find ways to strengthen weak areas. So if you know that you want to work in hospitality, like our friend over here, you need to find out what are the things that are required to succeed in hospitality. And if you find that you are weak in a particular area, you can try to strengthen that area. All right? Consider what do people in the position do to succeed And how can you do these things while walking with God? So there are some times when people will think that in order to succeed in a particular field, they're going to have to do some things that God disapproves of. But you are going to look at how you can succeed in the field while walking with God. All right. And then you're going to make a T diagram where you make a list of your skills and compare it with what is required for the job. Now, what if you are nervous about the interview? You have an interview to do and you're nervous, right? There are some things you can do. First of all, remember the 3 P's. The first P is prayer, the second P is preparation, and the third P is positive thinking. So the 3 P's, the first P is prayer, second P, preparation, the third, positive thinking. Relax and do deep breathing. Don't get too stressed out about the job. And if you remember that if you have been called for an interview, that's a good sign. The possibilities are great. Visualize success. So see yourself being successful in the role. And remember Ephesians 3 verse 20. Now to him who is able to do immeasurably more than all we ask or imagine, according to his power that is at work within us. Some do's and don'ts for interviews. Do be punctual, do be courteous, do make eye contact with the persons interviewing you, do listen carefully so that you know how to answer the questions. Do turn off your phone or place it on silent. Do speak loudly enough so that the interviewer can hear you. Some don'ts: don't chew gum, don't wear clothing that is tight or revealing, don't compromise your Christian standards in pursuit of career success, trust the process, walk with God. Don't ask about salary before being given a job offer. So you're in the interview, you don't know if you're gonna get the job or if you're not going to get it. Don't say, so miss, how much does the job pay? We don't reach there as yet. Don't badmouth anybody in the interview. And if you're asked certain questions, don't just say yes or no. If it's what is known as an open-ended question, you are required to give full answers and don't just say yes or no. All right, so we have this word, very important for interviews. It's a 6-letter word. It begins with an L and it ends with an N. What word are we looking for? Yes, I'm hearing it, shining. Yes, listen, listen. Give her a clap, please. So now we look at some typical interview questions. First of all, there are some questions that are known as behavioral questions. So they're going to test how you behave under certain circumstances. So we're using a lot of acronyms today. And so we meet upon probably our third or whatever acronym. But this acronym is known as STAR. And it is the STAR approach. STAR. So the first, the S and the T are for situation or task. The A is for action taken, and the R is for result. So when you're asked a question about how you would behave in a particular situation, you first speak about the situation, then the action that you would take or have taken, and then the result. All right, some typical interview questions. The first one, tell me about yourself. What is the first one? Very good. So you would avoid saying something too personal. You would just address it in a more general way. The second question, very popular question in interviews. Why should you be selected over other candidates? And sometimes the interviewer might even ask you some questions that cause you to feel bad, because they might say to you, we have persons here coming from university or whatever, and you know that you're not from a university. Why should we choose you over those persons? So some ways that you can approach this: connect your strengths with the requirement of the job, highlight your unique strengths. So even if other persons are coming from university and may be more qualified than the person being questioned, it can be a matter of how you sell yourself, how you market who? Me. Market me. So you can talk about your strengths, you can talk about the passions that you have for the job. Other popular question, do you have any questions? If they ask you that, it's good to be able to have an answer. Yeah, a question that you would like. So you can ask about something about the job that wasn't stated in the job description. Number 4, question number 4. You don't want to see question number 4. Question number 4, I'm seeing where you have no experience. How do you get over this? You're probably just coming out of school, never got time to get any significant experience. And they're saying to you, I see where you have no experience. At this point in time, you feel as if the interview has ended. You feel as if you should just take up your bag and say, nice to meet you, and leave. Should you do that? No. All right, so how can you get over it now? You can speak about the qualifications, academic qualifications that you have, research that you've done in the area, your love for the area, personal attributes, your personality. Remember P in shape? You can speak about that. You can speak about your experience at school or at church. So maybe you've never worked in the area, but you have volunteered at church in the area, so you can speak about that. All right, so those are some of the questions that you may be asked in an interview setting. And so your final activity, well, the second to last activity, the other activity is easy. So this is your final serious activity before we end this presentation. So let us make sure we end well, right? Let me hear you say end well. End well. Woo! All right. So you are going to choose any question and you are going to show how you would answer it. So each group is going to choose a question and you're just going to tell us how you would answer it. All right? So, question number 1, if you want to choose question number 1, tell me about yourself. Question number 1, tell me about yourself. Oh, instead of them having to, okay. All right, so electrical, your question is, tell me about yourself. All right? Number 2 is for vivacious visionaries. Why should you be selected over other candidates? Why should you be selected over other candidates? Faith International. Yes, your question is, do you have any questions? Do you have any questions? And number 4 goes to our shining group. I see where you have no experience. All right? So those are the questions you're going to be answering. Each group, you're getting 2 minutes. Yeah, we'll wrap up by 12. Okay. Okay. All right. So, question number one, electrics. Tell me about yourself. Question number two, the other groups, you remember what your question is. All right. All right, so you had 2 minutes for this. All right, electrics. Oh, electrics, are you ready? Are you ready? Yes? All right. Vivacious Visionaries, are you ready? Wonderful. Faith International, are you ready? Yes, awesome. Shining, are you ready? 1 more minute. All right, so we'll start with the groups that are ready.
My name is Janae Collins. I am a hardworking and trusting individual who likes. My name is Janae Collins. I am a hardworking and trustworthy individual who likes to help my peers learn new things and interact with new people.
Wow, beautiful. Give her a big hand clap, please. All right.
Miss Glenn, I have to like state my name or should I join? Alright. I should be selected over the other candidates because I have a deep love for the pediatric field. While I may not have worked exclusively in the pediatric field, oh, I have plenty of volunteering experience. I have plenty of volunteering experience. I volunteered as a Sony camp counselor for a pediatric group. I did pediatric physiotherapy assistance as well as orthopedic assistance. I believe I can be an asset to this company.
Right. And we believe she can be an asset to the company as well. Let's give her a clap. Faith International.
Do you have any question for us? Yes, we do. What development do you have for personal growth?
All right, very good and important question that people will want to know. And so our final group,
So the question that we were given, oh sorry, the question that we were given, you have no experience, so what makes you compatible for this opportunity? I would say to answer that, I would say while I have no formal experience, I would have had the necessary academic qualifications that would have exposed me to like the various courses that would be in line with what the company has required.
thank you, shining, shining. Give everybody a clap now. Okay, so we're moving right along now, and everybody has answered their question well. And so we get on to just our quick quiz now as we wrap up and recap what was covered. Give one don't for interviews. One thing you should not do. One don't for interviews. Yes? Don't. Oh, very good. Give her a clap, please. Give us one thing that interviewers or employers are looking for. One thing that employers are looking for. Hard working. Give yes, clap please. Number 3. He who fails to plan. Brilliant. Give one P in overcoming nervousness. What? 1P. Yes. So you're nervous for an interview. There are 3 P's that you can do. Electrical, yes? Yes. Give her a clap. Great. Wonderful. So, as we market me, trust the process and keep on walking with God. Trust the process, be patient, keep on walking with God, pray and obey. Keep walking with God, remembering that Joshua 1 verse 9, the NIV tells us, the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. So remember, God is with you in interviews. God is with you when you are on the job. Keep on walking with God when you land your dream job. Remember, God got you there. So don't get rich and switch. Don't follow the crowd. Don't drop your Christian standards. Just keep walking with God, for thou art with me, says Psalm 23:4. You can land that dream job and have incredible career success. Just trust the process and keep walking with God. All honor to the Most High God who grants us career success as we seek to market ourselves. Have a blessed day and thanks for your participation.
Well, no, I know that Sister Martin deserves a bigger clap than that. Do you agree? Come put those hands together. Yes. And so I'm going to ask, firstly, do you have any questions for her? Do you have any questions for her? Okay. That being the case, no questions. I think the information was well received, Sister Martin. I'm going to ask for two volunteers, a male and a female, to come and express our gratitude and perhaps share how we will be using the information um, to market ourselves. Volunteers. My friend there from Electricals, you stood out today, and I love your confidence. Would you be able to come and say thank you for us? He's one. Let's clap him as he comes. Yes. I'm going to ask the Tory also, yes, to come and just express our gratitude and say how the information um, has benefited you as young people who will want to excel in your respective fields.
I would like to extend my thanks from not just myself, from everyone else, as I've experienced personally. Job ones, especially fresh out of school, is very hard, extremely hard, and the small details of which you expressed to us are very important. You know, eye contact, confidence, prayer, all of those are very important, and I thank you so much for reminding us and bringing to the young people the importance of those small details. I thank you so much for that. Pleasure.
I would like to express my gratitude for leading the session. I really did learn a lot. I really did. It really added on to a lot that I would have learned before. It was very helpful, and I love that you kept including trust the process, trust God, because really and truly, everything that we achieve is only by God. And while we do the necessary preparations, while we do the logical point, we can't forget the spiritual part of it, because without God, we're bound to fail. So I love that you said keep moving, keep trusting the process. Don't be rich and switch, right? Just keep our focus on God while He helps us develop ourselves. So thank you.
Thank you very much. What's your name, sir? O'Shane. Your last name, O'Shane? Myers. O'Shane Harris. Thank you, sir. Harris. Okay, so on behalf of the Youth Department of the Church of God in Christ Jesus, Apostolic of Jamaica, I want to convey to the CEO of Captivative Solutions, Miss Gillian Martin. So if you ever were to need a resource person, reach out to her. Reach out to me and I'll get her contact to you. Whether it's for your school, for your community club, whatever. She is very good in developing groups and developing individuals to be better at whatever area. So thank you very much, and God bless you. Young people, don't go. We'll be starting our competitions right away. All right? So thank you very much. I'm going to ask Sister Missionary Peart to come back and just give us a prayer chorus as we transition into our next session. I'll tell you what those will be. We're going to start with those that we should have done yesterday. We're going to pick up right there and flow right into today's competition. So spelling bees, spellers, be on site. Bible quizzes, please stay by also. Thank you.
Praise the Lord Jesus. Praise Him. Whisper a prayer in the morning. Whisper a prayer at noon. whisper